If someone's walking up to the ice cream section, I always like to greet them, hey, welcome to Kilwins, using our store name. Then letting them know, hey, if you want to try any samples, let me know. I can help you whenever you're ready. And so we're communicating to them to lower anxiety, let them know that we're available, even if we're cleaning, which we should be doing something. We're always busy. We're always restocking or cleaning. After they've looked at ice cream, we've offered them a sample. They figured out what flavor they want. We always ask them, would you like it in a homemade waffle cone? Our waffle cones are warm. They're made fresh. They are delicious to eat by themselves. And so it's just the best way to have our ice cream. And so we want to let them know that we have a special product that you can't really get anywhere else.
And it's super fun if I'm working with someone who makes cones, because then I'm like, well, you know, Joe right here, he made that waffle cone, because it just really brings home that it's fresh and homemade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
and you don't want to touch it with your, I wrap this up. You never touch a waffle cone with your hands. It is our product, so you wrap it in a napkin before handing it to them. And then did we already talk about offering a double scoop?
Yeah, so then once they figured out what they wanted in, if they want a cake cone or a dish, that's fine too. Then we ask them, hey, would you like 2 scoops? And you always want to ask if they want 2 scoops, because we think that's the appropriate amount of ice cream to have for a celebration. And so statistically, that's how much Americans eat at home out of their freezer when they're scooping ice cream out of their quarts at home. And so it's just a good portion to have. And so 2 scoops in a waffle cone is our ideal of what we think the best way to enjoy our ice cream is.
Yep. People get more. I love that story about the guy who insisted on...
So I had this big guy come in once. He was probably like twice of me, really tall, really broad shoulders. And he said, I want 9 scoops. And I was like, that's great. I'm really excited to get you 9 scoops. That's going to be best in our dish because it has the most space to stack scoops. And he said, nope, I want the cake cone. And I was like, okay, I can try to do that for you, sir. I've never quite done 9, but if you really want that, you can do that. It's just probably going to be hard to balance. And he said, no, I want 9. And so I gave it to him. And you know what? He made it work, and he came back in 5 minutes for a cup. But he knew that it was going to be a problem before he ordered it. And so as long as you're communicating with your customer, sometimes they're going to be stubborn and really want what they want. And that's okay. We're willing to do that as long as they know that sometimes you're going to get ice cream on your hands if you make weird decisions.
And that you're going to be charged for your cup.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to piss people off, but we've had so many scenarios where, so these are our basic options. If it's on menu, that's what it is. Sometimes they'll say, I don't want a waffle cone because it's going to be messy. And so you just point them to the waffle dish. Or they'll say, oh, well, can I have a waffle cone and a dish? And you're like, yeah, but you pay extra. So they're going to pay the $5.25 or whatever it is for the dish, and then the extra $2 or $2.50 for the cone. And that's why we have this option. All those price structures are in place to encourage people to get the simplest option. And that also takes me to when people ask about sizes. We have one size scoop. You never offer a kid scoop. And you never offer a split single as your initial. That's something that happens into the interaction. Those are off-menu options.
This is our small.
That's our small. That's our single scoop. And we're paying you to keep it simple. So we can do a kid scoop. It's half a normal scoop. I can show you this right in here. It's tiny. It's golf ball size, right? And you want to tell, I had a guy come in one time and he was trying to order kid scoops for his 12-year-olds. And I said, oh, well, it's really more of an option for a smaller child. Like, I'm thinking kid that's on your hip, toddler, pre-verbal age. That's what that's designed for. No, she can't have ice cream. And he got upset with me because of the size of the kid scoop and because I was explaining that it's an option for a smaller child. Because he had employees who had been over scooping kid scoops and who hadn't communicated what the kid scoop was for. And so that really drove it home for me how important it is to communicate to you from the get-go. Don't over scoop your kid scoops. Don't serve it to a child that is too large. Like 6 and over, it shouldn't be happening. Again, don't piss your customer off, but just make sure they know that they're paying basically the same amount for half the amount of ice cream. And then with split singles, when someone asks, oh, well, how many flavors can I get? It's 1 flavor per scoop. So blue and green, those are your options. 1 flavor per scoop. And then if they say, oh, but that's just so much, I really want 2 flavors, then you can say, well, we can do a split single, but there's a charge for it. And it's just like at a restaurant, if you have a substitution, there's a charge. And then the third thing I wanted to say about that, when they're going off menu, the answer is yes, there's just a charge for it. So like if they want a cake cone on top of their dish, there's a button for that. If they want a waffle cone extra on top of their cup, there's a charge for that. If they want a cup, and then another cup, and then another cup, if they're gonna get a waffle dish with 6 scoops, and then they want me to give them 5 free cups, they're gonna pay for those cups. Those are not free cups. So you just need to make sure you communicate that ahead of time. Now, caveat to that is when dad comes in because his 5-year-old's got a kid scoop in a cake cone and that's dripping everywhere and he wants a cup, you give him the cup. You make your customer happy. And it's okay, I don't want to say this in basic training, but it's okay just to say, communicate the policy and then make an exception. Say, I'm going to make an exception just for you. But they have to know what's normal. Otherwise, your coworkers are going to get punished later because that customer didn't know what the policy was. And the last thing I want for you is to be in the position where everyone else around you is breaking the rules and you're the one that sets the standard. It's just not fair. We want to be consistent.
That's great.
Yeah. And then I think we did it. We answered, what are they getting? How much are they getting? They're getting something delicious. They're getting 2 scoops, and they're getting it in a waffle cone. So I think that's good. I think we didn't talk about like allergens. Just don't say that there's you can't say this is gluten-free. You can say it's no gluten added. And the basic, we'll do a more in-depth allergy training, but the basic thing that you need to know is that when someone has a question about what is in our ice cream, you just pull the tub out and put it on the counter. So you let the customer read, this is the allergen list, you can point to it. And if it's more complicated, they can read from up here, but we don't tell them what ingredients are in our ice cream. We give them the information and let them make the choice. And we get to do the part where we go the extra mile and say, I would love to sanitize a scoop for you. I would love to run into the deep freezer because you chose an ice cream that's on top of the compressor and so there's not a tub under there. And I would love to scoop an ice cream that is at -10 degrees for you with a sterilized scoop so that you can have an amazing experience. And I'm dead serious when I say that. I'm kind of saying it tongue-in-cheek right now.
But she says it with a smile, and that's important.
Oh my
You're
gosh,
always
I
smiling.
have so many reviews on Google because employees have handled this so beautifully, or I have, because some poor kid that can never have fun with the rest of the family was able to have ice cream even though they have a severe peanut allergy or they're celiac or something really serious medically, and we made their experience incredible. It's such a great opportunity to be a gift to our community and to make it possible for the whole family to celebrate, because you can see mom is anxious. She doesn't want to pull out the EpiPen later, and we have an amazing chance there to make that family happy. And so go the extra mile. And go offer to go an extra step from what mom is even asking, because you're going to communicate that, like, oh, you want me to walk a mile with you? I'll walk 2 miles with you. I want you to have a great time, and that's going to make all the difference. So, and I think now we're going to move to the register and talk about how we end a transaction.